back. I did forget to mention before the break, usually I'm going to start off doing this, a parlay of the week with college. I've got one for NFL as well. My parlay of the week this week, I think will work out best for everyone. I don't know how much it's going to pay out. Judging by the numbers here, though, it'll pay out a lot. Ohio State minus 9.5. Oklahoma State plus 13. Whether you want to do that or just pick them straight up is up to you completely. Minnesota plus 2.5 or straight up to you completely. Virginia plus 3. Spread or straight up, completely up to you. I'm going to go ballsy and probably pick all three of these straight up because it's going to pay out a lot. And then finally, Utah at minus 28.5. Maybe buy that point on it. It really won't matter at that point. You'll still win thousands just on a $50 bet. You know what I'm saying? But that's my parlay of the week in college. Let's get to the NFL picks, shall we? Oh, Thanksgiving. It's a special time of the year here in Detroit. Most likely because there's nothing better than the tradition of watching the Lions lose every fucking Thanksgiving. It's a great one to be a part of, guys. We love it here. Not only is it freezing cold, our nuts are freezing off over here, but we get to watch as the Lions make us want to kill ourselves slower and slower every year. And just kind of be thankful for football elsewhere because it's horribly atrocious here. But if you're on the betting side of things, you can bet against the Lions and feel good when they lose. All right, so that's where we're here this week. It's my Thanksgiving special. All right, so I got a parlay over here now for my Thanksgiving special. We got 3 games on Thursday for that Thanksgiving day. We have the Chicago Bears versus the Detroit Lions, Buffalo Bills versus the Dallas Cowboys, and we have the New Orleans Saints versus the Atlanta Falcons. To start off on Thursday, we got the Chicago Bears versus Detroit Lions, like I said. Lions suck. They are absolutely atrocious. That'll be tomorrow at 12:30. Can't wait. Probably won't even be awake for it because I never can fall asleep, apparently. They will be playing a stifling Chicago Bears defense while they're also playing their third-string quarterback, David Blau. David fucking Blau. Who the hell is that? That sounds like what you do when you put a gun to somebody's head because they can't stand watching the Lions anymore. Blau, you're fucking dead because I can't stand watching this shit anymore. All right? But I can stand watching it when the Bears beat them by more than 3 points and cover my spread. Easy pick there. It's at minus 3. By that half a point if you really feel like it. I think the Bears are going to destroy them. They probably won't even score 10 points, you know? Bears, on the other hand, could score 20 or 27. They don't have a great offense either, but the Lions' defense is atrocious. The entire team is atrocious. So, pick the Bears here. You will not regret it. Now, here's my real fun pick of the week. 4 o'clock in Dallas. They have a kind of a better tradition there in Dallas for Thanksgiving. Their team somewhat wins a lot. Excuse me. Dallas Cowboys, they got a little banged around in New England last week. New England doesn't look great right now, but their defense is still stifling. And I still do not know whether I want to trust Dak or not. I don't think I do, but I do sometimes. I think he does really well. I think he's a Kirk Cousins, actually. I think he does really well against the shit teams and the teams you can easily beat up on, and the Philadelphia Eagles, because the Cowboys just seem to always beat the Eagles. But also the shit teams like Kirk Cousins. So, with this, I'm going to come at you with a little surprise pick this week. It's a plus 6.5 I am feeling right now for Buffalo, and I honestly think they will cover that. I think they'll stay within the game with Dallas, and not only that, I think they beat the Dallas Cowboys. That's right, I think they beat the Dallas Cowboys, all right? I think their defense is stifling. It's another defense that Dak Prescott's going to have trouble with. I think it'll be another low-scoring game. I could see maybe like a 20-13 battle, but it doesn't matter at that point because Buffalo wins. They already cover if they win. So I'm going to go straight up with Buffalo here. Now, I do know the straight-up points for this one. Buffalo is at plus 245, so for every $100 you bet on them, you win $245. That's a steal. If you don't want to be that ballsy, just stick with them on the spread. If you want to feel even safer, buy that 1 point so they're within a touchdown, 7.5. It's fine. That's also fine. I might do that with a couple parlays just so I feel more safe. But I really do think that the Buffalo Bills are going to win this game, and I think that they are the better team right now. Whoever thought that we would think that the Buffalo Bills are good? But they are. They are a good team. They've only really beaten kind of the lower end teams, but they've hung with New England. They beat Tennessee, who I think is starting to become a really good team right now, and I think they're going to beat the Dallas Cowboys. Now to the final game of Thanksgiving Turkey Day, New Orleans Saints versus the Atlanta Falcons. A couple weeks ago, the Falcons beat the Saints by 17 points at the Superdome. I don't know what the fuck happened there, but that's not going to happen again. The Saints learn. They're not some dumb team. They have Drew Brees. They are going to get over this shit. They're not going to lose by that much again. They're going to figure it out. It's Turkey Day. It's a national spectacle. Everyone's watching. Drew Brees is not going to look silly again. He's not. They are going to go into Atlanta, and they're going to beat them. They're probably going to beat them by more than a touchdown. They'll probably beat them by more than 2 touchdowns if I'm being absolutely honest. Maybe 10 points. But it's at -7 right now. Absolutely pick New Orleans because they are going to want revenge for those 2 weeks ago for making them look silly. They also need to stay up in that playoff race for that number 1 seed. They are behind right now on San Fran, but San Fran's got a tough schedule coming up, so they're going to have to take advantage of that. But definitely pick New Orleans at -7. If, like I always say, pick that -0.5 point just so you can be under the touchdown. I don't think it really matters. I think they're going to win by more than 7 points. But be safe, get that ½ point. Feel great about it. And here's my Thanksgiving Day special parlay. Chicago Bears -3, maybe by the ½ point. Buffalo Bills straight up, get more value for it. And then New Orleans Saints -6.5 by that ½ point. It'll pay out a lot because at that point it's -180 for the Bears if you want to do them straight up, plus 245 for the Bills straight up, and -300 for New Orleans. But if you're doing the spread on either team, obviously it's at -110. If you do that, I believe it's I think I've already done a deal. I put 50 on it for almost $1,000, maybe a little under. It's a great bet. It's a great deal, and I absolutely say that's the one you should do for Thanksgiving because it's gonna be a great deal, and you should just get on it. If you want to feel safe though and not even mess with the spreads, which I do sometimes. Sometimes I bitch out and I'm like, nope, I'm not feeling good right now, so I'm just gonna do straight ups. That's still at -180 plus 245 -300. It'll still pay out pretty well, and you won't feel bad about it. Now onwards to the rest of the week here on Sunday night, or just Sunday in general, excuse me. Starting off with Green Bay and the New York Giants. Am I right? Danny Dimes over here looking good. And you know what? I'm calling for him to get absolutely slaughtered this week. Packers are going to beat them. It's at -6.5. Packers are straight up -290. Here's the thing about the NFL compared to college football. College football, when you look at the winners, it's so askew. You can find so many teams at minus thousands, which there's no value there. If you pick them and you bet $100, you win $1. It's not worth it. NFL, though, the highest you'll see somebody, I'm looking here right now, the highest I see is at -470. That's the highest you will see, which is still good value if you put it together with parlays, so you can pick the team straight up. That's why I love NFL, because you can find tons of good parlays and just pick the team straight up if you don't feel good about the spreads. But Green Bay is at -6.5. They will easily cover, especially after getting embarrassed on national television against the San Francisco 49ers last week. Excuse me. -6.5, they are going to beat up on the Giants. It's 6.5. You don't need to feel scared about it at all. Easily will cover 6.5 on the Packers. Next game, Washington versus Carolina, -10. Now, Washington just beat the Lions. But as I've said, they are pure, absolute dumpster fire trash. And Martha Ford should sell the team. They should take a year off, maybe vacation for a little bit, maybe sell the team to some Russian spies or some shit like that, some Russian mafia, get them to sell the team again, come back through, get a little wash on, NFL go to 31 teams for a while, come back, then maybe the Lions will probably be good. Not even probably, maybe be good. I'm not going to even say that, because they are a horrible team. They are horrible, and they lost to the Redskins, who are trash. Haskins looked horrible out there. Looked horrible. Yet they still won. Now, on to my story that I told you about for the parlay. That absolutely fucked me in my ass this last week. I told you about my college parlay that screwed me at 8 games. I had a 7-game parlay for this week. Got the first 6 right. But here's what pissed me off about this week. I'm a Steelers fan. I should be looking at the Steelers all the time. Clearly, Steelers-Bengals, the under was the clear choice for the 7th game, right? Right? No, because Aaron's a fucking retard, and while he was at his job, wasn't really paying attention. He picked Lions Redskins over for some fucking reason. Of course that's not going to hit, because they both fucking suck. What the hell was I thinking? I looked at it the next day, and I'm like, this is what's going to screw me. This is what's going to screw me over, and I'm going to go on a goddamn rampage. What do you know? First 6 happen. Bam. Lions, Redskins don't go over. I lose my goddamn mind. I'm pissed off for 3 days, and I'm still annoyed now. It happens, though. You got to get over it, and you got to go to the next week. It's kind of the problem with gambling, though. Sometimes you just don't want to give up, and you just keep giving money to them, and eventually you run out, and then you're in a pickle. But you can't stop, so you just keep on going. 6 Cent Sports no way condones gambling to the point where you are living in poverty. Thank you. Just so we don't get sued. But Carolina, -10 on Washington. Washington's not good. Carolina is good. This is pretty easy. Any other team, besides maybe the Lions, Washington's not going to win. Simple as that. Carolina should cover by that half point just to get under that touchdown and the field goal, make it 9.5. So pick Carolina at -10. That's also at -470. That is the highest for the week. Then the game of the week, even though it's at 1 o'clock, which makes no fucking sense to me whatsoever. Absolutely at all. San Francisco versus Baltimore. This is a hell of a game. I am so fucking excited for this game. It's going to be absolutely incredible to watch. Lamar Jackson, that San Francisco defense, the way they just pummeled Aaron Rodgers, the way Baltimore just pummeled the LA Rams. It's tough to pick, and I may be biased when I say this. I hate the Ravens, but I love Lamar Jackson. I have him on every fantasy team, and he's been wonders to me. I love him like a son. I really do, but I hate his team. The thing is, though, San Fran's defense has just annihilated teams this year. Has made them look silly. The only team that's even done well against them is the Seattle Seahawks. And this is where I go back and forth on it because Russell Wilson is a part of that, and he's kind of the same quarterback style as Lamar Jackson. But Lamar's not completely like Russell. Now, the Ravens did beat the Seahawks. They did. But I just feel like the defense, I don't know, it's just a gut feeling. I could be completely wrong, guys. I could be absolutely completely wrong. And it might just be the way the points is falling for me, and so it's making me even more biased to pick San Fran. But there's a gut feeling in me that they're going to be able to contain Lamar Jackson just enough to get the win and feel good about themselves. The Steelers were the last team to really contain Lamar. They picked him off twice. They didn't really let him run that much. They shut him down, and they should have won that game, but the refs screwed them over. But that is neither here nor there because that was week 4. Yeah, I'm going with San Fran at +6, maybe by the, +6 by that half point, though, just to feel safe. Yeah, I'm feeling good about San Fran. Also, pick San Fran completely. Just pick them completely. Because if you pick them, San Fran's at +230. That's a hell of a deal. That's a hell of a deal. You got to feel good about that. Add them into a parlay. You're going to get a lot of money off of it. And they're probably the best team in the NFL right now, besides maybe Baltimore. So, battle of the best right now. Maybe New Orleans is in there as well. But we're going to see who's better. But the value is just so good with San Fran, you kind of have to take it. You know, +6. If you want, buy that half point. If you want, buy 1.5 so you're over that touchdown. I think it's going to be a close game. I think San Fran pulls it out, though, in the end, even though it is in Baltimore. Baltimore seems to play better on the road, actually, anyways. So it works out better this way. Tennessee, Indy. I am scared about this pick, guys, because I'm telling you what. Tennessee, ever since putting Tannehill at quarterback, has looked like a completely new football team. They've looked absolutely incredible out there. They've been absolutely amazing. They beat Kansas City, although Kansas City is nothing special on defense. Still, you have to outsling Mahomes. I know he's been hurt, but still Mahomes. He's an animal. He's a beast. And Tannehill was able to beat him. They have looked good lately. The Colts have not. I know it's in Indy, and I know the Colts have had a lot of luck, pun intended, a lot of luck against Tennessee. But it just doesn't seem like they're playing well right now. It doesn't seem like they're clicking. They're not jiving. Usually they do well against the Texans too, but they lost to the Texans last week. I just think they're starting to kind of fall apart a little bit. And I just think with Tannehill at quarterback, this is the time Tennessee's finally going to strike and do something against Indy. Derrick Henry, I think, is going to have a good game too. I think they're going to kind of not run away with it. I think it'll be close. I think Tennessee wins though, so no matter what they cover at plus 2.5, by that half point, or by that full point, excuse me, if you want to make it 3.5. But I think Tennessee is especially the good pick with this game, especially them being plus 120. It's just a good pick in my eyes, and I think they'll get the job done. You know? Next, the other team in the state of Pennsylvania, Philadelphia versus Miami. Now, I don't know what happened, guys, but you remember a couple years ago when Carson Wentz looked like he was going to be MVP, but then he tore his ACL in like week 13 or 14, and he was done for the rest of the year, so he couldn't win MVP. What the fuck happened to him? He has not looked good ever since then. I mean, it might just be Frank Reich leaving because Philadelphia just hasn't looked the same in general since. But, god damn, he just doesn't look like he was that quarterback that we all saw and how good he was. Then again, his weapons are gone too, so it kind of makes sense. I can understand that. But good quarterbacks still make their players look good. Tom Brady has done it for years. He's done it with trash for years. He's made Edelman one of the best receivers in the NFL. Although he's looking like trash a little bit lately, but we'll get to that soon. The Philadelphia Eagles are going to be playing the Miami Dolphins this week in Miami. It's at 9.5. And here's my thought. I don't even know, despite it being the Eagles, if Philly could even score really like over 30 right now. Maybe even 24 is, I feel like, calling it a lot. And at that point, at 9.5, almost 10 points in Miami as well. I just feel like Miami will be able to keep it in the game. I don't think they're going to win in the slightest. I don't. Because that's at minus 450 right now for Philly. I'm telling you to pick Philly, absolutely. But I think they'll be able to keep that game. If you want to feel safe, buy that 1 point to get you at minus 10.5. You'll feel better about yourself. But I really do think that... Sorry, my girlfriend texted me. I really do think at minus 10.5 you feel absolutely safe. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to be scared about it. And you're going to feel really good in the end when Miami probably keeps it a close game, maybe even within a touchdown, just because Philly can't score. Miami has atrocious defense, but I think they'll be able to keep it a game. Power Fitzmagic will keep them in this game. Dolphins minus 9.5, make it 10.5 if you're really feeling it. Oakland versus Kansas City, another 9.5 game. This is minus 470 for Kansas City. I'm telling you to pick Casey straight up, obviously. Last time these two played in Oakland, it was 28-10 KC. I see another game kind of like that. I think Mahomes is getting much better. He's going to start feeling better. Oakland has just not looked good the last few weeks. Barely beat Cincinnati. Got destroyed last week against the Jets. I think this is pretty easy at minus 9.5. You don't have to buy anything on them because it's already at minus 9.5 under the 10-point total. If you want to go crazy, buy the 3 points if you want to go to 6.5, but I really don't think you're going to have to. This is a game where KC's going to get back on the map. People are going to realize that their offense is still a juggernaut. They're going to score, and I could see them winning like 31 to like 13, 31-20, 31-17, something like that, and they will get the job done. So go KC at minus 9.5. This is next game here is a pick 'em basically in my mind. It's Tampa Bay at +1 or Jacksonville -1, however the hell you want to put it. Jacksonville just hasn't looked good. They got slaughtered by Indy 33-13 just 2 weeks ago. They haven't looked great. They got beat down last week against Tennessee 42-20. It wasn't a game. Tampa Bay with captain throws tons of touchdowns, throws tons of interceptions, Jameis Winston. The offense is fun to watch. They will score points. And I just don't think that Jacksonville is going to score the points right now. Especially since Jacksonville depends a lot on running. Tampa Bay's got one of the best rush defenses in all the NFL. Surprisingly, they have a horrible pass defense. But Foles has not figured out how to really jive with that offense yet. So I just don't think it's going to be that great. It's a +1 in Tampa, so it's really not that great. Basically almost a pick 'em. It's minus 105 for the Bucs. It's still good value. But I would pick the Bucks straight up or the +1. It's really just to pick them at this point. But I'm going Bucks. Then, New York Jets at Cincinnati. Oof, what a barn burner this one's going to be. Cincinnati's trash. Their whole city is trash. If you're from Cincinnati, go fuck yourself. I don't care if I'm starting a fight. Vontae's perfect. Piece of shit. Hate him. But you probably hate him now too because he's in Oakland. You guys suck. You're going to go probably winless. Jets are going to blow you out. I'm surprised it's only -3.5 after the way they made Oakland look. Yeah, -3.5. They're going to blow the Bengals out of the water, I think. Sam Darnold's going to look good. If you want, by the point if you want. I don't think there's any point to doing it. Jets are going to blow out the Bengals at -3.5, so definitely pick them. It's at -185 for them if you want to be a scared turtle and just pick them instead. Go ahead. But New York at -3.5, pick them. Man, then the game I really don't want to talk about. Cleveland versus Pittsburgh, guys. My boys are going to be playing at home. And I've gone back and forth on this one a lot. I almost don't want to pick it just because I don't want to be forced to. It's 2 points right now as the spread. This is how I view it after going back and forth. I'm going to root for the Steelers. They're my team. I hope they win. I'm just going to pick Cleveland this week at -2. So that way if Steelers win, I feel great. If Cleveland wins, at least I win my bet. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel great about it. But Pittsburgh is amazing at home. They look so much better at home, so much different at home. They're going to want revenge over what happened last time with Mason Rudolph. And I think a lot of me wants to pick Pittsburgh because I think they're going to win. But I'm going to go safe. I'm going to go Cleveland because even if Cleveland doesn't cover, my boys win. If Cleveland wins, I get my bet right. So no matter what, I win something a little bit. I'm going to root for the Steelers no matter what. I hope the Browns lose. I hope we win. I hope Duck Hodges is the next big thing. But I'm picking the Browns at -2 right now. It's at -130 straight up. If I get that wrong, please don't come at me for it because I'm very, very timid about it and I don't even want to pick it. So, LA Chargers versus Denver, -150 for the Chargers. It's a game really nobody wants to pick. Nobody gives a shit, really. I think the Chargers will get some points. Philip Rivers, I think at the end of his career, I really think he's winding down. I think the Chargers, though, after losing the last few times, they're kind of just, don't really care anymore. Not really in the playoffs anymore, playoff hunt. They just, want to show that they're not the worst. They just want to show that they are not going to get beat by the Brandon Allen-led Broncos. So I'm going to go the Chargers at -2.5, -150 for them straight up. And I'm going to go with the Chargers absolutely here at -2.5. You don't have to buy anything on them, so it's another game no one really gives a shit about. But pick them. Next, LA Rams versus Arizona, -3 for LA. Rams, they have to basically win out, I think, to get into the playoffs. I think the NFC is almost completely decided at this point, so they have to win. And especially after that beatdown to Baltimore, they have got to get on the map quick, and they have got to do something quick so they can remind people that they're still the defending NFC champions. They play Arizona. Kyler Murray's awesome. He's great. I think he's going to be a great player here someday. But they're not full team yet. But they also knew that that's what they were coming into with Cliff Kingsbury. They're going to become something special eventually, I think. But the Rams are going to win this. Buy the half point if you want to make it -2.5. But it's -150 for the Rams straight up. Pick the Rams, though, because they need this win. They need this win, and they are desperate for it. The Sunday night football game, New England versus Houston. See, this is tough because New England has looked so awful lately. But, man, I just don't know. Houston didn't look great either against Indy last week. And I think New England's got a much better defense. I think the offense will be able to score on Houston a little bit more. Even though New England's looked terrible, they'll probably win another game like 13-10. Their games have looked ugly lately. It's at -3, -175 if you pick the Patriots straight up. Buy that half point. Feel good about it. So you can get that half, so that field goal lead. I'm going New England, though, just because it's kind of hard to pick against them. But I'm going New England here. And I just think it's just New England. They know how to beat the teams like Houston's and all that. So definitely go with New England here. They're just a smart choice. If I get it wrong, I get it wrong. We'll see how it goes next week for me. And then finally, Monday night, the big game, I guess. Minnesota versus Seattle. I talked about Kirk Cousins earlier. He's a great quarterback when he plays shit teams. Seattle's not a shit team, though. They're a good team. They just beat San Francisco for their first loss of the week, or the year, a few weeks ago. So I'm going to pick Seattle at -3 by that half point to get you down to just within a field goal. It's -155 straight up for Seattle. It just seems easy here because Kirk Cousins doesn't beat the good teams. And it's in Seattle, so I feel more comfortable about that. Also, like I said, they're pretty much in, I think. They'd have to lose out, really, for the LA Rams and the Rams would have to almost win out for them to get in. But I think they're going to lose here. I think Seattle's the better team. They seem to always beat Minnesota, it feels like. And they're just going to get the job done. I've already told you my Thanksgiving Day parlay. Those are all the games for this week, though. I feel confident about it. Next week when we come back, we'll talk about how I did, how we're feeling. Hopefully I do good, because if I suck dick on my very first time doing this, it's not going to look good going forward, you know what I'm saying? But at least you guys can shit on me in the comments, so that's pretty great. When we come back, we'll talk about some fantasy sports, alright? We'll see you in just a sec.